Now I'd like to recognize my friend from Virginia, Ranking Member Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think we all agree that skills are important, and we're not talking about just digitizing a resume. We can do that today, but creating a record that lists specific skills that can be recognized nationally. Now, that offers many questions, Mr. Cheney, because you're looking at what the process is for validating a particular credential, who gets to make the verification, how you evaluate credentials, who gets to regulate all this. I mean, there are a lot of ways to evaluate credentials. I mean, you can get we have the registered apprenticeship program now, run by the Department of Labor. Program is recognized. If you're a graduate of a registered apprenticeship program, it's a high quality because it got registered and it's nationally recognized. Now, you can get that through, I guess, you can get a credential by graduating from a recognized institution or a skills certificate from a recognized institution. You can take a test. You can be licensed by a government agency or evaluated by some credentialed reviewer. We've heard employers writing stuff into the LER, but I'm a little concerned that they may not be qualified to evaluate, particularly when you toss in subjective requirements. What kind of process would there be to get this national recognition so that everybody knows what you have on your resume?
So thank you for the question, Mr. Chairman. I don't think we're talking about a national recognition. We're talking about a national system that allows information in an LER to be openly and securely shared across different users of that system. So it could be that an individual can share the information in their LER with a next educator, with a next employer, or whoever else they choose to. So it's not a national recognition, it's a national system.
If there's not a national recognition, this isn't much more than just digitizing your resume.
Well, I'm trying to be careful in using recognition because I don't want that to be conveyed back to Representative Grothman's question about, is this governmentally approved kind of situation? But we do need a national system where we have the ability to know that information is being shared securely about the validated skills that you have.
Well, Mr. Kaplan, we have this thing going, we have this pilot programs in Utah and Alabama. Do they recognize each other's work?
I can't speak specifically to Utah and Alabama, but I would say that from what I know, it's a challenge to move a credential issued in one state and have it be identical to a credential issued in another state.
Well, if you don't have a system that does that, what are we talking about?
Well, that's what we're encouraging to be created here, is that
Something akin to the registered apprenticeship program where the Department of Labor would be in control and would designate, would set the standards.
We're talking about a decentralized distributed infrastructure that would allow people to move information within the LER about their skills and competencies anywhere they go. Think of it more like ATMs or credit cards. So what we're talking about here is that you have all these different issuers of, let's say, credit cards, call that an LER, and all these different recipients of credit cards, say LERs, and we want to make it really simple for all that movement to occur.
Well, if you don't know what somebody's credential is, I'm not sure how valuable it would be. We've heard, I think the gentleman from Missouri mentioned a lot of employers are less interested in specific skills and more interested in soft skills like showing up on time, following directions, critical thinking, working with others. How does all this convey those kinds of skills?
Well, I think, again, we want to be able to allow people themselves to assert that they have skills in those kinds of areas. When you're talking about the soft skills areas, in fact, there are a lot of organizations that provide recognition for having those soft skills. When I worked at IBM, we got recognition for things that we did collaboratively or collectively that we were good at selling. So as an example, I have a certificate in selling.
Okay.
And so that's sort of a soft skill, right?
Congressman,
Whereas you need to be able to-
if I may, Congressman, on this point, I think there's a key consideration here, which is, I think I understand where you're going with the registered nature of things. Degrees out of institutions are registered and they're valid, if you will, but not all of those have credibility and readiness actually attached to them in the marketplace. So I think it's a combination of both the effects of ensuring that there are those that can verify and validate competencies or skills they're awarded, but you also have to have the market's influence there, because not all of those credentials are actually valued or credible in the marketplace. They're not relevant to the jobs that are needed. And so I think the notion of a digital learning record and skill record here is to effectively signal that says, for the job that you require, the skills and competencies necessary in that, I can signal to you that I have had those verified. They're not self-declared. They've actually been verified by the institution where I demonstrated that competency or I certified it. So then it becomes credible in the marketplace in that way.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.